There we go. Right, so without further ado, if you need to grab any props, any extra props, please do so. So I've set this up. I'm keeping my socks on for a bit. I recommend you do the same if it is cold where you are. So I've put a blanket down. You're very welcome to do that if you find that your ankle bones are particularly tender, okay, so against the hard floor. I've got 2 mats, just so you know. I'm really all out for the full comfort this evening, and any time generally. So an upright position, we're looking at this central channel this evening, this sense of being centered. So what better position than the seated position, except that for lots of people this is not very comfortable. So I'm giving you the option of obviously adding some padding under the feet and ankles, raising the seat. So you may have seen I've sat myself up on a little block. So that can be substituted for a book, you know, with a blanket over the top, or anything that raises the seat slightly, maybe a couple of pillows. Just bring you a little closer over here. And if you find this really uncomfortable, okay, you're not alone, loads of people do. Couple of tips. We're going to use the hand just to adjust the buttock flesh out and back so that you can feel into the sitting bones. Feel free to move around as much as you need. This is an ongoing offer really, and then throughout the whole practice. And then the crossing of the ankles. So if you tend to pull the legs close in as a habit, see if you can just walk the feet a little closer forward, so you almost create this like a box shape essentially. So there's a little bit of space between the legs and the seat, okay? And then lastly, if you've got your other blanket, you may want to use a bit of padding. This can come under the shins and let the legs softly release. Okay, so balance and upright through the sitting bones. Take any support you need under the ankles or around the shins. Or if you're quite chilly where you are, you might just want it across your lap, across the hips, across the pelvis. If your legs are really raised, okay, and this is as comfortable as it feels for you, then you may like to take either a couple of cushions, I've got these blocks, anything you've got sort of 2 of really, and then you can place them under the thighs for a little bit of support. Just check that you're not wedging the legs up and into place, that they've got a little bit of softness that they can softly release into, okay? So they're the options. I know I've given lots of options there, but hopefully one of them will mean that this works for you in finding that spacious seat. So Sukhasana, meaning space, spaciousness, ease. So we're just going to come to rest, settle in, take as many breaths as you need. Hands can gently rest on the knees. And just closing the eyes if you're comfortable to do that. Just take some deep breaths. Really allow that breath just to be surrendered. Closing the eyes just gives you that wonderful sort of opportunity to let go of everything external and become a little more sensitized to what's going on within. And, you know, this is our direction inward, which is quite the opposite from our normal day-to-day lives where we are external all day. We are outward, we are in the world, producing, working, whatever we're doing, fulfilling our roles and our duties. So just allowing all of that to come to rest. We're going to do a little body scan from the toes up, okay? So just coming down with your awareness, maintaining that little lift up through the spine, dropping the awareness down to the feet. Just notice if there's any gripping or grasping around the toes, around the soles of the feet, tops of the feet, the ankles. See if you can breathe a little softness there. And as we start to just become more aware of this pattern of holding, we can become more sensitive to having a choice around that holding, finding the space within this awareness. And just soften around the outer edges of the ankles. And then up through the shins and the calf muscles. Keeping one internal eye on the breath. Okay, a little awareness now. Just see if the breath is being held with this extra instruction of moving the attention down to the feet and the legs. We're going to move our awareness up to the knees, softening around the knee joints. And with every softening, perhaps an exhale, see if that ties in naturally to what you're experiencing. Perhaps there is a little holding there, where the thighs join the knees. You start to release some holding through the inner thighs. As you let the thigh bones release, these big, heavy femur bones from the hips. And really exhale. Remember, you are free to breathe as expressively as you feel you need. And with every full exhalation, there's this wonderful invitation to take an even bigger inhale. And let's take the awareness around the buttocks and the inner groins, softening around the lower back and the pelvis. Just check that you're not collapsing around the lumbar. See if you can maintain a little sense of your center, as perhaps you feel a little bit more sensitized to the sitting bones. We're lifting up through the center of those sitting bones, up through the spine. Bring your awareness to your belly, little tone in the belly to support the lower back. Okay, so there's this wonderful synergy of feeling that support, that effort, passing the effort from the back muscles to the belly. Keep softening through the shoulders and feel into the whole of the back, releasing any tension around the shoulder blades. Down through the arms as you soften through the shoulders and the elbows. And just notice if there's any holding around the wrists or the fingers. Take a breath in the belly. Well done. We're going to bring that awareness up from the base again, up through the spine, through the heart center. With this little movement up through the spine, upwards towards the crown of the head, just really feel into that sense of expansion from the center point. Whichever part you can tune into, just allow your awareness to rest there and expand out from that point. Take a deep breath into the back ribs and a big exhale. Let's drop the chin towards the chest. Take the next breath in through the nose, maintaining that lovely stretch, spacious awareness through the top of the spine. Well done. We're going to take the hands forward on the knees and just curl gently through the back. Keep the chin nice and close towards the chest. So you're almost rolling across those sitting bones. Just feel that stretch. We're not forcing anything, just finding a little bit of space through the spine. Nice deep breath in as we come all the way up and exhale. Well done. Let's gently open the eyes, interlace the fingers and turn the palms away. Nice big breath in. Exhale, bend the elbows, placing the hands against the heart space. Nice deep breaths. Well done. Let's release the hands. We're going to release the legs, but just notice which leg is at the front. Okay, so we tend to want to put the favourite side there. We'll stretch the legs, just breathe into the soles of the feet and the toes, have a little stretch and flex, and then we'll bring the leg that was at the front on to the inside. changing the cross of the legs, okay? So we tend to, otherwise we can feel that in our hips. Go through the same little setup and moving through the buttock flesh out and back. Well done. So maintaining that awareness up through the spine, and you may want to use a little sense of the pelvic floor just lifting up through the crown of the head. We're going to gently draw some little circles, okay? So I want you to go nice and slowly. We're using the belly button as a guide, okay? So we don't need to make enormous circles. Just feel this out. Just almost sort of massaging through the sitting bones, breathing as you go. If this causes any discomfort, you know, if there's any pinching or nerves that are inserting into the ischial tuberosities, your sitting bones, maybe up through the hamstrings, just be really gentle. And again, you may want an extra layer just to soften it. So I'm going in one direction to start. And then we'll take the same little movement to the other side. So I'm moving, it's really hard to see on a screen, but I'm gently making these little circles so I can shift the weight from each side of the buttock flesh, each side of the hip. Legs are just relaxed. Notice if the feet are getting a little tense, that's easily resolved. Just breathe and bring that awareness back. Well done. Center yourself, get that sense of being balanced and upright through the pelvis. And then when you're ready, we're going to take the left arm out to the side, okay? So extend that arm. Let's just take it out around shoulder width already, just to sort of what I like to call a bit of a warning shot. Extend that arm, flexing the fingers up towards you. So that already may feel, you know, quite a strong stretch across the pectoralis muscles. Let's just dip the fingers down and curve through the tops of the hands. Little movement there through the wrist. And then we're going to tip the whole body so the hand will land, okay, down in line with your own hip. And then turning to face the top shoulder, extend up with that right arm. Nice deep breaths. Take your time here, okay, because it depends what we've been doing today, and if we are a little bit cold, we don't want to pull a cold tight muscle that's already a bit tense, so just take your time. And remember, you know, the goal of our yoga practice is integration. So integrate the breath, notice what the mind is doing, just bring it back, and see if you can just stay with your practice. Even if it's challenging, even if it's, you know, not your favourite thing, or you've got aversions or preferences, all of that. This is a place we get to really test the practice of yoga as a whole path, as a whole experience. Well done. To come up, we're going to bend the supporting elbow, press firmly to come all the way up, let the hands rest. So just find that center again through the body. Any little movements you want to soften around the shoulders, deep breaths. Well done. Let's come to the other side. Extend that arm out to the side. Little movement here, so you can flex the fingers like little tips of wings, little bird wings, and then the same with the fingers pointing in towards the wrist. Allow each you know, posture or movement to really be a portal. You know, it's where you disappear as one thing and arrive as something else. You know, we may have lots of ideas about our practice or our body. Well done. Exhale. But it's all, you know, transient, so we can really just move into that, really own that reality, pressing firmly into the palm, lifting up and expanding out across the chest. Nice deep breath. Keep softening into the hips and pelvis. That thigh may want to sort of wing up slightly, or there may be a temptation to really wrench the arm. Just see this as the beginning without an end. You know, it's just simply exploring that movement, exploring the integration of the breath with the movement. Well done. Nice deep breath. Take your time. Bend the supporting arm to press to come all the way up. Good job. This time sweep the arms forward. We're going to cross the elbows and just take the tops of the shoulders across the deltoids. Give yourself a nice hug with the elbows pressed in towards the chest. Deep breath in. And then exhale, release. And again, just notice which arm is on top. Nice wide arms. Exhale. Crossing the arms. Opposite arm on the top. Chin to chest. Just breathing through the nose. Let all tension go. Well done. Let's exhale the arms out to the sides. We're just going to take them again shoulder width. Palms facing down. We're going to gently turn the head to the right. Okay, nice deep breath here. Just look down the middle finger, right the way to the fingertip. And then head to center. Deep breath in. To the other side. Let that breath go. Really notice where you are in your body. If there's any sense of moving from that midline, just gently correct yourself. Your little pull back to center. Head comes back to center. Well done. Let's breathe the hands forward. And we're going to come onto our fingertips, just ahead of the front leg. Spine is long. Just breathe into the hips and pelvis. So I understand this may be quite strong. So don't worry, if you can't come all the way down to the floor, then you may want to be on a little block. Okay, it's a nice long spine essentially, really reaching out through the pelvis. We'll take a breath in. Softening those shoulders, well done. And it's strong, you know, it can feel quite strong as the legs slowly start to release. Well done. Good job. We're going to come off of our little lift now, releasing the legs. I'm sure everyone's happy about that. Let's turn ourselves around. I'm not sure which direction you're all facing tonight, but I'm going to keep the blanket underneath the hips and pelvis, much like we did last week. And actually, I don't need the cushion. You're welcome to use something under the back of the head. And just come to rest. We'll walk the hands a little further back so the arms can be extended. See how this feels with the fingers pointing down towards the feet. Otherwise you can turn the hands the other way, okay? It's a nice stretch either way, but obviously if you've got RSI or anything like that going on. Soles of the feet planted, we're going to lift up through the chest, just pausing here. So you're kind of this time feeling that you're on the back of the sitting bones, you're sort of coming back off of the, the very tips of the sitting bones, the pelvis. Well done. Nice deep breaths. You can keep bending and releasing into the elbows just to find a little bit more space. And again, if we can keep in our sort of mind's eye this central channel. Exhale, release. We're going to roll down. So bend the elbows, walk the hands down towards the buttocks. Come all the way down, nice and steady. So you're welcome to shift the pelvis so that it's completely flat, as it were. I don't always like to use that word, but you get the idea, so that you can really tease out that last little bit of space around the very tip of the tailbone, the coccyx, and then slowly lower yourself all the way down. Nice deep breath. Check the head and neck are free of any obstruction, and then release the arms. A nice big exhalation. So again, you can have palms facing up. Keep the soles of the feet planted. Just let the lower back settle. Good job. Nice deep breaths. And here you can really feel into the whole of the spine in the way that perhaps, you know, you could feel in a seated position, but it feels a little different when we're not holding ourselves up. Just settle. Again, just witnessing your own experience of your body resting. As the lower back settles, we're going to release the right leg, okay? Let that leg release. Slowly breathing into this hip flexor, flexing the toes, and then release the other leg. Same thing, bending up the toes, so you're flexing through the feet. Arms are wide. So you'll recognize this as Shavasana, okay? So relax the feet, just let the whole body come to rest. So taking it stage by stage, just letting every muscle relax, seeing where that tension is, where we're holding on. Let the facial muscles release. The forehead is soft. Well done. Let's slowly peel. We will get back to that posture. Peel up the legs nice and slowly. We're going to hug the knees into the chest. So just check that your lower back is very happy. You can bring your hands to the front shins. Have a little rock across the back of the pelvis. Well done. Little circles if that feels good. And again, these don't need to be grand gestures, just hugging the knees in, so you can massage out that lower back. So this thoracolumbar fascia around the lower back and the pelvis can get super tight. So we're going to flex the feet here when you land in the center. Let's take the arms up and over the head, just see how that feels, okay? So the arms will land where they're happiest, okay? So if they need to come out to the sides, or the elbows are winging up, or the wrists feel like they can't release, take the arms a little wider so that the chest is open and relaxed. And then we're going to slowly extend up through the legs, okay? So just look upon your feet almost like a little stair press, just pressing up and bending the knees, just working into the backs of the legs, okay? So we're working into this plantar fascia whilst resting through the whole of the torso down to the back of the pelvis. And of course, you know, don't worry if this doesn't look like anyone else, certainly not me. Base it on your movement, okay? So if you need to extend the leg further away to really extend through the leg and not straight up, then do that, okay? It's much better to feel into your body and what your body needs to have the, you know, the best outcome for you at this time. Don't forget to breathe. Lots to think about, or nothing to think about. You know, surrender it all, just give it up. Once the instruction's been received, you know, it's an invitation. If you need to do something else, you do that. Okay, if you need to rest, breathing deep. Good job. One more on each side, and then we're going to let the feet land nice and slowly. Good. Take the feet wide on your mat. Let the knees just rest against each other. So they're like a little teepee with the knees. And this time we'll take the arms a little higher above the head. Just check you've got some space. You can shuffle down your mat if you need a little bit more. And aim for the elbows. Okay, so create this nice, similar to the box shape of the legs in Sukhasana that we started in. You can take the arms like a little cage for the head and rest that on the floor. Okay, again, if the shoulders are super tight, this may feel unavailable, in which case you go for a diamond shape with the arms. And just let the arms rest, wrists rest, and breathe. Deep breaths. Whichever posture, the breath is always present. See if you can tune into that base of the spine and the length of the spine. This will keep your awareness into this sense of being centered. This is the central channel called the Sushumna. Okay, so you may have heard of the chakra system. This is said where all the chakras are situated through the sushumna. So as we breathe in through the nose, the nadis, these rivers or meridians, whichever system you're looking at, essentially breathing in through one side of the nostril or the other, you're feeding into this central channel. And this is what we're tuning into when we feel into that sense of being centered, not just in the physical body, but in the subtle body. Let's take one more deep breath. If you're holding the elbows, gently change the cross of the arms so the other hand is holding the elbow on the outside. Always feels a little bit weird when you first do this, but essentially it's the same position, just moving one arm in front of the other. Let the shoulders release, and any tension there, any external pressures, just let them melt away. Get that sense of surrendering everything to the earth. Well done. Deep breath in. And slowly release the arms. And we'll lead with the elbows. You can bring them in towards the ribs. And then we're going to use our arms to gently shimmy ourselves over onto our sides and then all the way over onto our belly. So we're going to use our blanket again. So if you didn't get a blanket on that first instance, you may be kicking yourself by now. Feel free to grab one. This is super nice under the hips and the pelvis if you need that extra support, particularly if you're on a floor that's a little bit cold. We're just going to walk the elbows forwards. So really finding that little bit of space. I always think this is quite snake-like, this sort of movement, because essentially we are bringing the awareness now to the anterior spine, okay, so the front of the spine, the front of the body. So we can lift the pelvis by pressing into the knees and lengthening up through the lower belly. Walk the arms a little further forward. And then when you feel super comfortable, like that's as far forward, as much space as you can sort of garner from the space in the spine, then you let your hands release, look forward and bring your attention to what's happening with the shoulders. See if you can soften down the back, let the shoulder blades melt away with the breath. So you can draw the elbows a little closer in towards you, okay? If you feel like you're really balancing on your belly, you can bring them a little closer in, okay, so they're almost in line with your shoulders. A bit more support. That's it. Good job. And the feet are placed around hip width apart. Breathing deep into the belly, up through the spine. Well done. We're going to release ourselves to come all the way down. Take the elbows wide. Rest on the temple, any side you like. Let's gently bend up the legs, bring the heels towards the buttocks, lifting up the head. We're going to turn the head to the other side and then release the legs. A nice big exhale. Just dropping your awareness to that heart space. You can feel the heart space against the earth. Heel yourself up nice and slowly. You can draw the hands down under the shoulders, tuck under the toes, come up nice and slowly so you can press the earth away. Toes are tucked under. We're going to extend nice and long through the arms. Nice big breath. We're not coming all the way down just yet. I'm going to move my blanket just because mine's quite long. It's taking up a lot of space. So we're going to take ourselves all the way up into a downward dog. Okay, so shift your weight forward. If you want to do any other kind of preliminary movements, just easing into the hips and the pelvis, tucking under the toes, make any adjustments that you need, spreading through the palms, and take a nice breath in, staying central to your whole body. Okay, use your mat as a guide, that's always helpful. Press into the floor, lifting up, nice big exhale, and then replace the feet. Okay, you can walk the feet as many times as you need. Remember, we're not worrying about heels or shape necessarily, just spaciousness through the spine, integration of the breath. Let the head release. And when you settle into the center, really notice if you can just allow the heels to release, the toes to spread. There's a lifting up through the legs, a drawing in. Let the head release. And just notice the little finger side of each hand. Well done. Come down to hands and knees. Pause there. Tuck under the toes. Have a little wiggle side to side. You may like to bend the elbows here as you breathe. So I find it useful to bring the elbow right the way down to the floor. Okay, so almost look towards that elbow or the heel and then come all the way up to the other side. So it's a little bit like a ringing out through the spine. You can feel that really strongly through the obliques as well, around the side ribs. Do this as many times as feels comfortable to you, with softness, with love, and without a sense of getting anywhere. There's no prize for getting the most reps in or anything like that. We just allow the body to respond. Well done. When you're ready, we're going to settle in the center. Take a deep breath in. We're going to bring the leg that's closest to us, just drawing that knee forward. Okay, so you can come either between the hands or behind your own wrist. Okay, so just find what's right for you and then extend the opposite leg a bit further back. So don't worry again how far forward this leg comes or how far back. Just go to what's comfortable for you. If you need a little support under the knee, take the support with a blanket, a little soft blanket or a cushion, and we're staying upright. Okay, so we're not putting too much pressure through that front knee. If anything feels uncomfortable, come back to the first posture. Okay, or Balasana, the child's pose. Nice deep breath. Now we'll bring the attention back to the spine. Lift up and lengthen. So the focus is on the back leg, as it were, the extended back leg through the psoas muscle. Good job. Now you're welcome if you want to. You can come down a little lower. So only do this if your front knee is very happy with this. So I tend to lean towards the side with the front leg, that's the bent leg, and then gently rock back. Okay, just shifts the weight across the pelvis. And then rest down on the elbows, forearms and wrists. This is our king pigeon, our 1 foot king pigeon. Lots of variations of this. Nice deep breaths. And it's a deep stretch. You know, we can feel that in the groin, in the hip. but we can really surrender into that stretch. You know, there's an awareness, there's a level of absorption that when we're moving through things, we don't always get to fully immerse ourselves in. Well done. I know you'd love to stay there longer. We've got the other side to do, so don't worry. We're going to come up nice and slowly back through the same trajectory, okay? So coming back up to that first upright position. Nice deep breaths. Well done. Tuck under the back toes. We'll come back through a downward dog. So you can slide that leg, replant your hands, come up when you're ready. So you're pressing the floor away, chin to chest, nice big stretch. Again, a little walk through the hips, and it may feel a little bit different now that we've had this wonderful stretch through the groins, through the spine. Just go at your own pace. And you know, if you're someone that always goes to the maximum, then just see what it's like to go to 60%. You know, be playful with your own limits. Well done. Dropping down to hands and knees. Again, any movement into the shoulders this time. Bring a little focus up to the upper back, head and neck. Nice big breaths. Well done. And then slowly, when you're ready, into stillness, we're going to move the leg that's furthest from me, just sliding that knee forward, okay? So keeping it in line with the wrist is a really nice alignment, or just in line with your own hip joint. Walking, so you'll notice I'm keeping my shin underneath my thigh bone, as it were, and then walking this front leg back. As I say, there are lots of different variations. You can have some where the front leg comes out at an angle, but this is safe for most people, even if you've got some knee things happening, and it's a wonderful stretch anyway. You're still finding that lovely space through the hips and the pelvis of the extended leg. All right, so just adjust as you need. If you want a bit of padding under that knee, if it's pinching, you can just lift the knee and replant it. That's often a really nice adjustment. Just recenter yourself. And breathing deep. Now remember the option to come down, just walking the elbows forward, that little lean to the side to sort of find that spaciousness to bring the chest forward. Spine is long, hands are planted, so there's no pressure going through the wrists here. A little bit through the elbows, and that's fine. A little bit through that front knee, but shouldn't be causing any pain. And just settle. Nice deep breaths. Well done. Let's take a breath in to prepare as we tuck under the toes, walk the hands in towards the body, pick up that back knee, and then step back through a downward dog. This time we're going to take the feet wide, toes turning in, and gently shift the weight from one leg to the other. Okay, pressing firmly into the palms. Nice deep breaths. Think Elvis legs if that helps. And then slowly, one last big stretch through the upper back and release. Take the knees wide this time. Toes can tuck in together. You can sit back on the heels for a moment. We're going to place either a cushion in front of us to come down into child's pose. If you've got a cushion, you can use that, folded blanket, or I mentioned a bolster. If you've got a bolster, you can place that just in between the thighs. Essentially, take whatever support you need, okay? So the higher up off the floor, the more you can feel into this length through the spine. Lots of variations where you curl through the spine, and that can feel really restful too. But ultimately looking for some space as we come down. Again, you can let the head rest to the side. You can hug into your bolster or your pillow, or simply take the elbows wide and just come to rest. Make as many adjustments as you need. So if you want the legs a little further apart, or you need a little bit of support between the buttocks and the heels. So if you notice that the buttocks are really lifting up, you may want to bridge that gap with a cushion, folded blanket, and see if that helps with that sense of complete surrender. You may even want to turn the palms facing up. Let the hands be soft, particularly if you work with your hands or hands are feeling tired. Really allow the weight of the bones to rest, muscles to rest. And again, in this position, you can feel the heart space just gently releasing, just resting. And breathe into that heart space so you can get that connection from the front of the body right the way through to the spine, right the way to the back of the body. And gently turn the head to the other side. So with the minimum disruption, just turning the head. Well done. Let's take a deep breath in. And use your hands to gently support your body to come up nice and slowly. We're going to finish with a little twist. So come to lie down when you're ready before we come into our next part of our mantra meditation. Just turning onto your back. You can bring the knees in, hug it out as it were. Just across the pelvis. And settle through the spine. Let's release the legs. Take the arms gently up and over the head, bending at the elbows. So again, you may want to take the arms wide. See what feels good in your body. Just make sure you've got some space either side. We're going to let the knees just flop to the side. Nice long belly. Length up from the pubic bone to the breastbone. Nice deep breaths. Exhale fully. Let the legs just land, okay? So you don't need to make any adjustments unless you're uncomfortable. You're welcome to turn the head away from the legs, okay? So it's a last little stretch through the neck. Bringing the head back to center. Bringing the knees back into the center. Take a full inhalation, make any adjustments you need to the pelvis, to the shoulders, and gently release. And settle. And take a deep breath in together. Exhale, let the legs just flop to the other side. And again, there's a sort of gentle rolling over of the feet. Make any adjustments if the legs need a little bit more space to land. And then lastly, the head turns away from the legs. Just see how that feels on the neck. Obviously, don't force anything that feels uncomfortable to your body. Nice deep breaths. Well done. Head to center. Bringing the knees all the way up. Walk the heels a little closer in. We're going to release the arms down by our sides. Plant the hands. Lift the pelvis, chin to chest. Nice little bridge pose just to feel into the whole length of the spine. Nice deep inhalation. You can hold this or roll through this a number of times. Again, just go by your own body. You may want to walk the feet a little further out. See how it feels across the pelvis, across the belly, chin to the chest. Okay, stay nice and central. Exhale, release. You come all the way down when you're ready. Land in the pelvis. Eyes soft, jaw soft. Well done. When you're ready, let's gently roll over onto the side to come all the way up. We're going to set ourselves up for our meditation and our mantra. So make any adjustments you need. If the temperature's dropped and you want to put some more layers on, I'm going to put my socks on. Grab a shawl or whatever you need, a blanket. Dim the lights, grab your tea. If it's not too cold, I've become accustomed to drinking mine always cold these days. Oh well, we'll settle in. I'm just going to shift a little bit further forwards for sound quality, hopefully. So you may choose to go for the same position that we started in, seated position of Sukhasana, or you may want to try something else. Maybe that was like an endurance test. So you can be cross-legged, or you can take yourself on a bolster. As always, choice is yours. Always good to try different things, just to see. Although that said, I nearly always end up on a bolster, so you can be kneeling. The principles are the same in any of these seated postures for meditation, okay? Same thing, same principles apply, where we're looking for balance across the sitting bones. We're looking for that midline, that central channel, for everything to settle either side so that there is spaciousness, space for the energy to move through the spine. So, comfort and ease, and two qualities of any meditation posture. Just settle. So we'll bring the hands to the unshakable trust, this beautiful mudra at the chest. You just interlace your fingers, rest your palms against your chest. Bring the chin towards the chest, breathe in through the nose. And then exhale, let the head lift up and release that breath. So just feeling into the heart space. And just resting there. You're welcome to keep the eyes open or closed. Remember that turning off this sort of one sense of sight just draws us inward, just surrendering all of the senses one by one, just coming to rest. Again, just scanning through the body for areas of holding, of tension. Bring a little spaciousness there. And we're going to chant to this heart space, this lotus in the heart. And the words begin with Om, and it's really short, 4 words, so you may know this one. Feel free to join in or just join with the listening, and then we'll drop into our meditation, staying with this sense of the lotus in the heart space. And however that arises for you in your experience, it may be a visual thing, it may be a sense of yourself, of your inner wisdom, of stillness, of peace. So we'll take a deep breath in to prepare. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Deep breath in. And the translation is this praise to the jewel in the heart space. Exhale, release the hands. And you may place the hands on the thighs, on the knees, whatever feels good for your body. Eyes closed, jaw soft. And we'll meditate on that heart space and that sense of being completely and utterly centered in that space. I'll mind the time. taking an extra deep breath in. And gently release the chin to the chest. Release that breath. And just really feel where you are in the body, through the sitting bones, up through the spine. I'm going to gently place the hands on the body, so one around the belly and one on the upper chest. Breathe into both hands. If you can breathe through the nose, all the better. Well done. Slowly release. I'm going to take the palms and gently rub them together. If you're wearing glasses, you may want to take them off. So I'm placing the palms over the eyes in just a moment. Just generate some heat through the palms. Keep breathing, shoulders releasing. And when you're ready, just gently cup around the eye sockets, leaving space for the nose. Place the hands against the face. Breathe deeply. One last deep breath in. Slowly release the hands. And we're going to come to lying Shavasana. So feel free to dim the lights if you'd like to. Grab an extra layer if you've got cold in that time. Take some support under the back of the head, like a folded blanket. Nothing too high, okay? Leave a bit of space around the neck. Eye pillow, whatever you need. You're welcome to pop a bolster under the knees, otherwise legs extend, feet release. Nice deep breaths. Allow the body to come to rest. And keeping a sense of that midline of the body, and then let the limbs release from that center point. Palms facing up, shoulders gently tucked under so the arms can release outwards. Have a little movement through the ankles and then let the feet come to rest. Allow the whole body to come to stillness. Have a blanket over you if you have one nearby. Eyes closed, jaw soft. Let all tension go. Resting in that deep peace of yourself. Resting in the heart space, in the lotus bud, in the heart. Resting with the breath. Taking an extra deep breath in. And gently bending up your knees. Let the soles of the feet rest. And let the lower belly be soft. And when you feel ready, you can roll over onto one side and just lie there on your side, breathing deep. You may like to roll to the other side, or just take an extra deep breath, pressing up from the side to come up when you're ready. And again to a comfortable seated position. Hopefully there's one that you found this evening, even if legs are extended or you wish to sit back on a cushion. Just re-establishing that sense of balance through the sitting bones, lift through the spine. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, release. Hands to the heart space, Anjali Mudra. Deep breath in. Exhale, release. And then raising the hands to the forehead, the third eye, breathing in. Exhale, release. Namaste. Bow to you. Hope you're all good. Sleep well. Take your time. No rush. Hope to see you soon.